So I just don't agree with your facts, which began with the presentation of one of the most outrageously persistent lies that I hear, which is this private jet. We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet. And obviously, it's pretty stupid to talk about coming in a private jet from the State Department up here. It just, honestly, if that's where you want to go there.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a pretty epic moment that happened in Congress featuring Biden's climate czar, John Kerry, who was caught in a moment of hypocrisy as he lied in Congress by suggesting that, hey, I've never owned a private jet. I don't fly private jets, okay? I'm not being a climate hypocrite like a lot of these climate billionaires being hypocrites as they lecture the rest of society and push for policies to make everybody else's quality of life worse because, hey, us normal, regular people, us peasants, we have to reduce our carbon footprint, okay? We have to stop polluting. However, billionaires and politicians like John Kerry can continue to pollute as much as they want, right? AKA ride around in their private jets, their yachts that disproportionately emit CO2 into the atmosphere. They're able to do that with free reign, okay, and lecture everybody else about their habits, okay? That is the world that the climate disciples want, right? And John Kerry again says that it's a lie to suggest that he's a hypocrite. It is a lie to suggest that he flies around in private jets or that he even owns one. Except John Kerry is actually the one that is lying about this, and he got exposed for lying about this in Congress by Republican Representative Mike Waltz after he claimed that it was a lie to suggest that he flies around in private jets. This is a truly glorious exchange. Take a look.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane and sold the plane.
You flew on that plane?
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it, sure.
And this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My wife owned
here's
the plane.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause, Mr. Secretary, but I'll move on. I just want to know from a record standpoint.
Afford me the right, at least, to set the record straight here. I do not fly on a private jet. I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Have you flown on a private jet since you've taken this position?
Just let me just finish. I have flown 5 times in the last 2.5 years on Millair, which you also fly on.
Sure.
Or some of you who travel fly on, 5 times. Otherwise, all of my trips are commercial airlines.
Have you flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once. I just don't, I'm trying to think of
I think you need to take the broader point of how this appears to the American people as we're asking them to take that.
Let me tell you why.
We're not asking
Americans not to fly. You're trying to create an unequal thing. We're not saying don't fly.
We're asking you to lead by example, Mr. Secretary. That's what we're at.
Which is why I fly commercially.
By example.
Which is why I fly.
In that vein, does your office or the State Department keep a record of your official travel and scheduled meetings?
Of course.
Does that include the individuals you're scheduled to meet with? Can you provide those records to Congress? Will you provide those records to Congress?
Of who I've met with?
Your official travel. Your official travel, taxpayer funded, while in this position.
Sure, happy to do so.
Thank you. I appreciate that commitment. Switching topic.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, right? John Kerry basically got his lie fact checked to his face in Congress, as again he told a bald-faced lie in Congress, talking about, I don't fly around on private jets, I don't take private jets, I don't own private jets, except his family does own a private jet. Okay, it's owned by his wife. Okay, and for him to say, well, I don't own a private jet, I don't fly around in private jets, is like Nancy Pelosi saying that, well, I don't insider trade, right? I don't trade stocks. My husband trades stocks. You know, I don't do that. Okay, as if he's not benefiting. Again, it's just so funny how these people think the American people are so stupid. Like, again, we don't have receipts on these things that, again, Democrats claim that they don't do, right? Again, John Kerry is one of the biggest polluters on the planet. Let's read this. According to flight tracking data obtained by Fox News Digital in July 2022, a Gulfstream GIV SP jet owned by Kerry's family made a total of 48 trips that lasted more than 60 hours and emitted an estimated 715,886 pounds or 325 metric tons of carbon over the course of the Biden administration's first 18 months. The plane was registered to Flying Squirrel LLC, a charter company owned by Kerry's wife, Teresa Hines Kerry. So yeah, this guy emitted 325 metric tons, or his family jet emitted 325 metric tons of carbon into the atmosphere over the course of the Biden administration's first 18 months. Again, so this guy has been one of the biggest polluters on the planet, okay, while lecturing everybody else on reducing their carbon emissions, right, and advocating for policies that would hurt everybody else. Ain't it amazing how this works, right? Ain't it amazing? Again, they did this during the pandemic, okay? Democrats is out here telling people, hey, you got to social distance. You need to mask up. Don't go to parties. Don't go to funerals. Don't see your friends. Don't have fun. Don't live your life. But behind closed doors, these people were partying. They weren't social distancing. They weren't wearing masks. They were living their lives, having fun, taking vacations in the middle of the pandemic. But they were telling everybody else, hey, nah, you need to do this for everybody else's safety. And if you don't, then you're a super spreader. Again, it's just so funny how the hypocrisy of the Democrats, it just never ends. But these people don't care. Okay, when John Kerry was asked, hey, are you aware of how this looks, right? That you like a hypocrite flying around in private jets while trying to lecture everybody else on their emissions and their life and what they're doing? Of course he's aware, right? He's aware that he's a hypocrite. He just doesn't care, right? Why doesn't he care? Because he doesn't have to, okay? Democrat voters don't make Democrats have to care about their hypocrisy because they don't care, right? And that's the sad part about Democrat voters. And Democrats know this. They know that Democrat voters don't give a damn, okay? I mean, because after what happened during the pandemic, the overt hypocrisy that Democrats displayed in regards to rules for thee but not for me, none of these people should be in office. All of them have been exposed as frauds, okay? That they don't actually really believe the things that they say. However, it didn't keep people from coming out and voting for Democrats, and they still won the midterms because, you know, Republicans are allegedly trying to take away women's rights and the races and all other type of stuff, you know, dumb things that Democrats or Democratic voters vote on, right? While at the same time, Democrats showing their own constituents that, you know, we really don't believe a lot of stuff that we say, right? And it's sad. It really is. It's extremely sad. Democrats are overtly hypocrites because their base doesn't care, right? Voters, they're still going to get votes regardless. However, 1 month after the Fox News Digital report that highlighted the jet's extensive carbon footprint and after lawmakers blasted Kerry for apparent hypocrisy, the Gulfstream jet was sold to an energy-focused hedge fund in New York City. Whitney Smith, a State Department spokesperson, confirmed the sale in a statement this year and said Kerry travels commercially in his current role. Again, he should have been doing that from the get-go, right? Why did it take being called out in order for him to change his habits? Allegedly, he's changed his habits, okay? Quote, whether it was his jet or his wife's jet is missing the forest through the trees, John Kerry is an unelected bureaucrat who's making decisions that have major impacts on the lives of Americans, the overwhelming majority of whom are going to be worried about the cost of gas to drive their cars to work, not the cost of fuel to fly a jet to King Charles coronation. Rep. Brian Mast, Republican of Florida, told Fox News Digital. Quote, he needs to understand that, added Mast, who chairs the Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Oversight and Accountability. In addition, later in the hearing Thursday, Rep. Mike Waltz, representative of Florida, confronted Kerry about his comments that he has never personally owned a private jet. Waltz pointed to the Fox News Digital report that shows Kerry's family had sold the jet after receiving criticism. Yeah, so we already went over this, okay? And yeah, I mean, these people don't care. Democrats don't care because at the end of the day, they can just lie and get away with it. Doesn't matter, right? Their voters are too busy believing that Democrats can actually save the world, right? They're going to save the world from climate change, and they continue to vote for this nonsense, even though the people that they're voting for are the biggest polluters on the planet. It really just blows my mind. It really does. I don't understand the mind or the psyche of the Democrat voter. It's honestly one of the wonders of the world, to be quite honest with you. One of the greatest mysteries in the universe. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.